Welcome to Side Notes. I'm out and about tonight. We're at the Toronto Fringe Festival. We just went and watched the play called Elvis and Dick. I'm standing here with the director, Brian Kennington.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time, Brian.
Oh, well, thank you, and thank you for coming to see the show tonight. It was a great house, and we had a really nice response, and it's been a lot of fun putting together.
How did this play come about? I know I love the Elvis music. It takes me back to a lot of my childhood growing up there. Anyone from Generation X and the baby boomers really remember that music.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I read the story a couple of years ago. I heard about Nixon, that he met with Elvis in the White House. It's a true story. And from that, I started to get information. I went online and did a lot of research. And as I wrote the story, I said, it'd be fun that if Elvis started had fantasies at the same time and thinking back if he was going to go out, make it like his movies, and he's going back and he's going to get the hippies and the communists and the women's lib movement and then break into a song just like his movie. So I thought that was a way to incorporate the music in it, and I thought it'd be kind of fun too having Elvis and Nixon sing together. And so we have about 15 Elvis songs in the show, so that was really fun putting it all together, and I had a great band to work with and musical arrangers to sort of compose and put it all together.
We were interviewing the executive director of the Fringe Festival, the first day of the Fringe Festival, and she was talking about how it's a lottery system to get your place in the Fringe Festival. Yeah. What's your thought on that, and how do you feel that that has helped with plays like your play and even other plays get access to the audience?
Well, I guess it's the best way to do it, because I guess if you're going to have a script that they call it a juried script where people read it in advance, I mean, sometimes you get a bias, and sometimes you read a script, you really can't get a feel for it. You have to see it on stage. So I think the lottery system works very fair, and what's great about the Fringe is it gives you a chance to try the play, and it's a lot cheaper doing it this way. To put it up and rent a space and hire the actors would be a lot more expensive. So it's been really good to do it this way, and I've done 4 of them now. It's my 4th Fringe. And it's great because you get a nice way to show it to the audience, and you get feedback. If something needs working or tweaking, you can go back and work on it again. And some shows have actually gone on to, the Drowsy Chaperone went on to become a Broadway success. So some shows have gone on to great success. I think one became a TV series. So there has been a lot of success over the last, 25 years in the Fringe.
And with the catalog of Elvis Presley songs, it's massive.
Yeah.
How did you narrow it down to just the 15 songs you're talking about?
Well, I tried to pick songs that I thought that I knew were hits, and I also got a CD of Best of Elvis. And I went through them all, and basically the ones that I remember as being hits. And some were a little tough. We had to actually take some out, like, Crying in the Chapel, and was another way, was it Can't Help Falling in Love with You? We couldn't get those in. So I looked at the actual fantasies too, and also in the White House, and said, what song would be good here? And I felt in the fantasies those songs fit really well, like Suspicious Minds, A Little Less Conversation, Hound Dog. So that was basically what I did, was try to fit the song in.
And with the Elvis and Dick, the play, do you see it actually going maybe to Broadway or even traveling across Canada?
Yeah, well, there's a potential. I've actually had some interest from producers already from the States, and there's been people in Canada talking to me about it, about maybe doing a tour across Canada first and then going down the States. But I think in the States it has a great appeal. Firstly, huge Elvis, fan club out there, and also at Collingwood they have this Elvis Festival up in end of July, and that's really popular. So I think the turnout's been really good. We've been selling out quite a few houses, all because I think this Elvis phenomenon. But I think the fact it's Elvis and Nixon together is what could have a good appeal down the States.
And your website, if people want to go and take a look at it, maybe they got a question they want to ask you, they might be writing a play themselves, they want some sort of maybe a mentorship, help them with their ideas?
Yeah. They just go to elvisanddick.com. That's my website, and elvisanddick.com. And yes, you can notify me that way, and there's my phone numbers there and my email address. They can get in touch with me if they want to ask me questions about the Fringe or anything about the show. That'd be great, sure.
Well, with the long period of time you've had involved with the artistic world here in Canada, how do you feel that it's changed over the years since you started?
Well, I think the biggest thing I found right now is that there's been a whole change in audiences. Basically, the audience I find is aging. When you go to a lot of theaters now, I see that people are usually 45 and up now. You don't see a lot of young people, and I think that we've got to change that demographic. I think the thing is that a lot of youth today are very much into fast things like videos and movies where it's got to be all really quick, and I think we've got to get theater somehow where they don't sit down for a 3-hour production. I think 90 minutes or 2 hours is max for them. So maybe that's something we have to do to make sure we don't lose that theater audience. But I think of the Fringe, though, you do see a lot of young people out, and I think it's because the plays aren't long, and it's stuff that maybe hits a chord with them. Maybe it's things that are more today, doing with today's generation. So I think the problem with theaters are going to have to keep up with the times and maybe not make it so long.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Brian.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Anytime.